Hi everyone. Uh, this is another topical issue. KENPO Karate, Kenya. The topic is Kazo learns the side punch. Hurricane. Today I'm going to talk about our pet projects, and it's titled Story of APRI and SEPRI. When I was working, I was able to buy a small plot in the town where I was, a quarter of an acre. I was able to put down a small 3-room house with a toilet and a bathroom outside. I started keeping some poultry, both layers and broilers, about 200 layers and 400 broilers, which I would sell and replace. I decided to be a zero grazing dairy farmer and bought an Asher cow on April, which I named APRI. Later I also bought another Asher cow in September, which I named SEPRI. APRI could produce good milk with high butter content, and SEPRI was a large cow, but not a high producer. I enjoyed the milk, but it was expensive buying fodder. I sold the milk, but could hardly break through. The broiler market kept fluctuating, and the layers would lay many eggs, but the laying and the income could not tally. What I'm saying here is I was a farmer who could hardly break through. A famous farmer. Now, the Odijo, the teacher, is in the dojo teaching Kazo, the Kenyan KENPO karateka, how to apply a hurricane punch. That is a side punch. In most cases, many farmers and traders in Kenya have behaved just like the sensei or me, applying only the front punch, oizuki, without minding the challenge in the kumite and learn to apply the hurricane punch. We have pet farming, just like the KENPO karate sensei used to do. We have sugar belts, we have pepper mills, some cash crops in areas that can't break through. The voters, who are the Kazo, keep applying the front punch all the time. That is, keep repeating the same and the same thing over and over again. Our pet crops, our pet factories, our pet industries, all have to be balanced by the government when they produce, because they can hardly break through. Imagine somebody getting sugar from a place like Brazil, importing it, paying the tax, and when it goes on the shop shelf, it may be half the price of what you have produced here. So the government has to compensate with subsidies so that the Kenyan farmer can get something. There are cases of rice coming from a country like Pakistan. That is their staple food. Is able to get here and still sell lower than ours here. And if we have to make ours compete with it, we have also to subsidize. So the Kenyan Kazo should learn to apply the side punch. What do I mean by this? There are crops that traditionally belong to places. They are famous in those places. And we engage our politicians and our government based on those projects, those crops, those jobs, those manufacturing industries in that place. It may be paper industry. It may be maybe textile or something like that, but it can hardly break through. So in other places, and even in this country, I've seen certain places that were semi-arid, you find short time growing mangoes are grown and they produce heavily. Those that take a short time to mature. You find people change crops, and those crops you are able to sell freely in the market without subsidies, and you make a profit. So I was thinking, as white people, as wise people, it will be better for the Kenyan Kazoo to apply the side patch. Move to crops that can be able to be productive and you make profit in your area without having to make the government subsidize, and then things become difficult. You still feel the money is little because the production costs are higher, or our pricing is higher because we have to do that to get whatever we've used in the garden anyway. There are other cheaper things that can be used and can be able to give you produce. People can organize in groups and ask for the government to help so that they can even grow export crops. Kenya is famous since there are places where they grow flowers destined to Europe and cash crops like French beans. So it's a high time that some places where certain things are common but they don't make profits, look for experts to sit down and think along the same line, what can be put in this place so that it can be productive, people produce, and you get real money without losing the money that you pay as tax again. So Kazoo should apply the side punch, think productively, act productively, and produce crops, factories, or everything productively. One should not have the case of the sensei with APRI and SEPRI. You keep agricultural animals or you grow products that are just like a pet because you can hardly break through. Sometimes you don't even get the money you spend, and you do it year after year because it's a traditional thing that you do in that place. Let's break from the traditions. Have something that will propel us forward. And there are many learned people in Kenya. They can be able to advise on what we can be able to change to in order to make a profit, perform our jobs without worrying, without bothering also the government to put in subsidies. That's my take for today.